There was only one plugin left to try from United Plugin, and it was Royal Compressor. So let's get to it. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixbusTv. Hope you're having a great day. Before we start, check the info box down below for my mixing courses on Pro Mix Academy, hip hop, metal, drums, special discounts on plugins, and if you want to support the channel, we have t-shirts. Let's get to the video. Royal Compressor is definitely a quirky and colored one, probably like the original unit. Not that this one states to be a direct emulation of it, but sure is reminiscent of the old Varimu RS-124 MEI Abbey Road limiter compressor. It was never available commercially, it was built and modified inside Abbey Road. On Royal Compressor you have three models, three variations. Model A, B, and C, you can see the knob here. For Varimu compressors, you don't have a threshold control. If you want to increase the compression, you use the input control, the input gain, and you drive the material into the compressor. Then we have an output attenuator, that is our makeup gain, and then the auto gain. Now, when I said this compressor is quirky, the auto gain is part of it. I would advise to keep it off because it also have a very unique behavior when you auto compensate for the gain. So I would keep it off. Then we have a dedicated saturation knob. When you open the plugin, the saturation defaults at 100%. Again, I'd advise you to put it at 0 or between 0 and 10 to get familiar with the behavior of the compressor first, and then to drive the saturation to taste according to the material. It can get really saturated. It's a nice sounding saturation, but get familiar with it. The three models ABC have different attack time, but we have a variable recovery, our release. From fast to slow, you can see there are red dots in between numbers. Now, that red dot is called hold. When you leave the recovery on any of the red dots, that will keep the source compressed to the most recent process peak level. The release time in hold is very, very slow. Power button for bypass, a trim, just in case you want to trim the level of the signal going in. Let's hear how it sounds.
All I ever wanted was to stand my ground. Big words to confuse and spin your mind around. But every little step just takes me further down. I found my soul just waiting in the lost and found. Babe, it's nothing you did, so stop talking stupid. We gave it a taste, now it's done. I'm out for self-healing, you ain't got that feeling.
Okay, so two things immediately. You hear that if I'm not on one of the red dots on vocals, it brings up all the breaths and the silence in between. That's the quirkiness of the compressor. So for vocals, I always advise keep the recovery on one of the red dots. And the second thing is pay attention to how much body this compressor adds to these vocals. And I picked a female vocal exactly for this reason. It's easier to hear, but it adds a lot of body, a lot of weight to it.
All I ever wanted was to stand my ground. Big words to confuse and spin your mind around. But every little step just takes me further down. I found my soul just waiting in the lost and found.
And C model, you can hear already the difference in the attack. It's a lot smoother. You don't have at the beginning, after a silence, that spike, which is typical of the very old vintage compressors. And let me try to exaggerate actually the input and output. Let's see where we go.
All I ever wanted was to stand my ground. Big words to confuse and spin your mind around. But every little step just takes me further down. I found my soul just waiting.
It's really thick. I really love it. Let's try it on something else. Really love it on acoustic guitar, which is not an easy instrument to compress. You can hear how it brings up the lower note very well. Now, when you solo a track and you have this kind of compression, you can always hear the pump in the volume coming back up. But in the context of a mix, that's actually really good, because that's what helps you bringing up the detail on a busy mix. I like the slower settings in general and the slower attack as well. I really love the color of this one. By the way, the GUI is resizable. We have also a dry wet. I want to try to exaggerate the settings and then blend it with the dry signal. That is really nice. You hear how much more detail there is on the pick, on the strumming. Damn. Definitely experiment with the red dots, because you hear how much it changes the behavior. It goes from a very jumpy, very pumpy compressor to almost a leveler, so the release is so slow that the material stays compressed. You don't have the volume changing that abruptly, which are both interesting. I really like this. It brings up so much detail. This is one of those uses in which you want to go dry wet. There's a lot more attack in this way. All the details of the percussive sound, the hi-hats are coming up. Very cool. I would love to see a high-pass filter on this one for material like this. Last, let's try a snare in the context of a drum really quick. That's really cool. It brings up the ringing of the snare and at the same time the body of it, and that doesn't happen at the same time very often. Anyway, this is it for this video. This was Royal Compressor from United Plugin. Really cool one. Check it out. I hope this video was useful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. If you have any question, leave it in the comment down below. Follow MixbusTv on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.